What's up, guys? Welcome back to DCA. So, Bitcoin could be heading towards a new all-time high anytime now. What we're going to do tonight is talk about what Bitcoin has done in the past immediately following a new all-time high. This might tell us what we can expect in the short term after we do hit that $63,000, $64,000 level. First, let's do a quick rundown on the market. We had a slight drawback today. So as we said, when Bitcoin hits a correction or goes sideways, we expect altcoins to make a small move then. Today was obviously a very small correction in the grand scheme of things, but this is a snapshot I took at the time of making this video. And you can see, as we said in yesterday's video and multiple times prior to that, when Bitcoin heads down, that's when the altcoins with respect to Bitcoin in the setting of a bull market or a continuance of a bull market, they can make a move. And that's what we saw today. Now, granted, most of these are pretty small moves. In fact, some of these are even down in terms of their price to the US dollar. But this is when they gain in relation to Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is still obviously above the 20-week moving average, which is what we said we need for the bull market to continue. And one price you might watch for Bitcoin to come back down to is this 8-week moving average. We've done that many times in the past in the setting of a bull market. We've come down to or very near the 8-week moving average. So that's just something to watch for. And currently that's at about right at around 48,000. Okay. The 20-week moving average is all the way down at 41,000. So we held that as support, like we said. And now we're sitting at around 56,000. Bitcoin actually made a pretty fair recovery today towards the end of the day. So things are looking good. It's status quo. We're not in a confirmed bull market continuance yet. We need to see a new all-time high for that to occur. But things look great. The market looks great. Everything is showing strength. And I think it's coming very soon. And, I'm very excited for what's coming. So with that said, let's take a look at Bitcoin and its prior all-time highs. Okay, so we're going to start with the all-time high after this 2011 peak. So Bitcoin makes its peak in 2011, okay? And then around February 22nd of 2013, it finally reaches that level. So this is pretty anticlimactic, this event, in contrast to the remaining events I'm going to show you. So not really much happened on this one. It did go down, however, 10% a day or two after reaching the prior all-time high. Okay, so that's a pretty fair size correction. So we go obviously up to make the new peak in 2013. Then we don't reach that peak again. We come down. We don't reach that peak again until October 23rd of 2013. At that time, in the next 3 days after reaching that peak, we go down 25%. So you can imagine a fair number of people got shook out right here. It hit this new all-time high, or matched it anyway, from the close standpoint. So it reaches that level and then sells off 25%. Now, that's a lot, guys. That's a lot of people can get scared out of the market in, these capitulation events. And I think that's what we saw here. A lot of people were scared it wasn't going to go up anymore. It's sitting at 225, hits its prior all-time high, and then goes all the way down to 174. Okay. And then did that for 3 days. And then, everyone knows what happens. About a month or two later, it went all the way up to 1250. So if you sold here, if you got scared by this event here, you lost out on Bitcoin going up 5 times from where you had it right here. And that's why I want to show this, because if something like this happens again, you need to be prepared for it. Okay, so then we make our late 2013 peak. We don't reach that level again until March 2nd of 2017. From there, Bitcoin in the next 22 days sells off 30%. So it's at around $1,300 here, matching the prior all-time high in 2013, and it sells off 30%, guys. Again, how many people do you think got shook out right here? Lost their position because they sold. They got scared that the market cycle was over and just sold because things had been going up for quite a while. You know, they'd been going up since April of 2015. So almost 2 years at this point of just going up, and people get scared. They sell their position and Bitcoin goes from 1,300 almost up to 20,000 within the next few months. So again, people getting shook out of the market at the prior all-time high. Okay, so then let's see what happened this time. So, you know, we hit our high on around the 16th of December, 2017, and we matched that point on November 24th, 2020. From there, the next 3 days, Bitcoin sells off 17%. Okay, 17%. So again, how many people are selling their position right here only to watch Bitcoin go up from 19,000 up to 64,000 in the next, what? I guess this was November, so about 4 or 5 months. They sell their position because they get scared that the market cycle is over. There's a big sell-off happening, and it happens time and time again. People get pushed out of their position and they lose out on massive gains. Now, one other thing you'll note, if you look here, so, you know, this is November 2020. There seems to usually be a large sell-off after this initial sell-off about 2 months later. That's in fact much larger than the first sell-off. So note here, this is November 2020. Then we have a massive sell-off in January. Okay, let's go back to 2017. We have this sell-off here in March. And then there's another massive sell-off in June. Okay, so it goes from around 3,000 all the way down to 1,800. So almost a 50% sell-off, guys. It's been, in the last 2 cycles, there's been a huge sell-off about 2 to 3 months after the initial sell-off. So you hit the peak, there's a sell-off. Every time. That's been every single time. You hit the peak, there's a sell-off. You come up, you know, Bitcoin makes nice gains over the next 2 to 3 months, and then there's a massive sell-off. And we've seen that in the last 2 market cycles. So it begs the question, what are you going to do when we hit 64,000? If there's a 10, 20, 30% correction, are you going to get scared and sell your Bitcoin, capitulate, sell to someone else? Or are you going to hold your ground and, you know, get ready for the gains that are going to come right after it? It's not financial advice, but that's how I plan to manage it, is hold my ground, maybe move some of my position into altcoins because, you know, as we said, when Bitcoin makes a small correction, that's when altcoins can make their move. But for the most part, 64,000, I do not expect to be the market cycle peak. Not even close. So, you know, it's just something to watch for, guys. It's these trends in the crypto market occur over and over and over again, and being prepared for them and being knowledgeable about them can at least arm yourself so you don't get caught off. You don't get caught off guard. You don't get caught by surprise. So just be ready for it. I think when we hit 64K right around here, I think we're going to see another small correction. And, you know, it's not to say we definitively will. None of this is, you never want to be deterministic. You always want to just have a plan in place for what you will do if this happens. Okay, it doesn't mean it has to happen. Nothing has to happen. Bitcoin can do whatever it wants. The market will do whatever it wants. So it's just good to be prepared and know your history, because history repeats itself. So I think that's pretty much it for tonight, guys. If you guys like this content, hit like and subscribe, hit the notification bell, and until next time, see ya.